Hi, my name is Anand. I'm here trying to participate in the World March for Peace and Nonviolence, and I guess I'm going to share a little bit about my life and let you know that how important this is to me.
Wonderful. So exactly, start by telling us how the World March relates to your personal story.
Okay, well, let's see. First of all, I'm an Indian. I'm born into a Hindu family, but I grew up on the border of Queens and Long Island. Queens is the most diverse county in New York City and possibly the most diverse county in the USA. I believe that it represents all of the nations of the world. And I was born in Flushing, Queens, which is a place of great religious tolerance. And I grew up in a neighborhood not far from there that was actually divided to make room for the Cross Island Parkway, which was created for the 1939 World's Fair, which was meant to show people about other cultures around the world. And it was also during a time after the Great Depression and around the time of the World Wars to let people have some peace in their lives. There were two World's Fairs there in Flushing, and I go to worship in Flushing and Corona and the surrounding areas every week. And all the neighborhoods in Queens, I've spent my life trying to understand and learn the people in those areas, the meaning and the reason for the names of the streets and things like that. And as far as the nonviolent movement, as I learned it, as Mahatma Gandhi was making use of it, I'm still learning his story right now. I'm actually in the process of reading his book right now, although I've intended to for years. There's so many things I've intended to do for years that now that I just became 30, I'm finally doing. I'm much more serious about playing a more responsible role in society, which to me is a lot more than just having a job and paying bills or even taking care of just my wife or kids when I have a wife and kids. I'm interested in taking care of so many people because I feel like so many people have taken care of me. I've been saved from so many disastrous events around the world just by growing up in and around New York City and Long Island. And I grew up right on the border of Queens and Nassau counties, which is basically the border of New York City and Long Island. And Queens and Brooklyn, two counties in New York City, are the ones with the highest population and the largest size. And they border on Nassau and Suffolk County, which are also two of the largest states, two of the largest counties in New York State, and they also have a high population. So I'm always on the verge of meeting new people and seeing new things and experiencing all types of things, unfortunately good and bad. And I'm trying to increase the amount of good experiences that people have and decrease the bad. And that all relates to minimizing the amount of violence in our streets day to day and the violence that we hear about in the world day to day. And this was just delivered to me, this march. I was only just told about it on Friday by my family, and as soon as I started hearing about it, I knew that no matter what day it was, what time it was, I was going to be there. And luckily it was here on Monday. I had a meeting in Long Island on Monday. I decided to skip that meeting and I decided to come for this march, and I'm very glad I came here. I'm glad for the people that I've already met, and there's more people to be meeting for the rest of the day today, and I'm just so grateful that I got to be a part of this and be a part of history. I tried to communicate this to so many other people, and I didn't get the response that I expected because so many people are just absorbed in their own little world and they're not thinking about the rest of the world. You know, they read about it in the newspaper, they see it on the internet, but they don't actually want to do something about it. Or they want to do something, but they think they can't really do anything because they think that they're stuck in the same cycles of violence and war and oppression and poverty, and they think that it's just the same thing has to keep going on over and over again. And I'm trying to do my little bit day to day. I've already been trying to do that for a long time, and when this came my way, I realized I had to be a part of it, and I'm just glad that now somebody's speaking to me and letting me speak. And if somebody hears even one of my words and it means something to them, you could realize that I think about people all over the world all the time. I may live in New York and I may have a somewhat privileged lifestyle compared to some of the places that I've heard about and even places that I've seen and places that I've lived, because I've spent plenty of time living in India as well, where all my family is, and I see the humble way that they live, and even the rich there live hand in hand with poverty, and there's problems with violence there as well. And I'm just trying to make all the people that I know proud. I'm trying to make some type of contribution to this world, and I'm just very grateful that I got a chance to play a part in it today.
What do you think is this march's significance in the world today?
I think this march's significance is that it helps empower people. Because there's a lot of things that I've been very paranoid certain times in my life that if I speak up and I say something, somebody's going to want to target me for some reason. And when you think about movements like this, you realize there are a lot of people that want to organize and they want to say the right things and they don't want to be restrained or restricted. Now, I don't even know where my words today are going to go, but I'm going to have faith in the good of other people, that this is going to be used for good purposes and not bad purposes, and it's going to give other people the power to realize that when you do unite and you do believe in things like peace and nonviolence, that you can make a difference. And even if it's not immediate, and even if you still happen to see some violence in your life, that doesn't mean that progress is not being made. At some point, somebody, the right people, have to listen, and eventually the message will reach whoever it needs to reach, so that some of these goals, which even when I heard about some of the goals of this movement, sound very, very, very ambitious, and I don't know how easy they are to achieve, but they seem to me to be good ideas. I'm not an expert on politics, I'm not an expert on foreign policy, but they seem to be good ideas. How realistic they are for coming true, I'm not sure, but we can all believe, and we can all play our little role, and we can all make our attempts, and we can all combine our efforts. And wherever that leads to, I really don't know, but you know, we're making some progress. That's how I feel. Even if we're still seeing destructive things in the news and things like that, some progress is being made. Somebody somewhere is waking up, and they're deciding for one day not to continue the patterns that have been continuing for centuries. So there has to be somebody that this message finally reaches, and they realize the next day or the same day, this has to stop. This has to reach people with power, and it has to reach the average people and make all of them realize that we're more, as it was said in the lecture hall earlier, that we're more similar than we are different, and we all have some of the similar of goals and ideals. So I just hope that I can play my part. I will hope that I can continue to do that day after day. I do it on the local level here in New York. Whatever I can do, I try to organize and do little things, my little efforts and ambitions. And when I see something big like this passing through town, I'm trying to take part, and I'm always open and receptive to more things that are brewing, or that are, you know, somebody comes up with a new idea. I'd like to hear about it. It's always I'm always open to new ideas. Put it that way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.